Well, NASCAR, you done brought the chaos. What's up, guys? I am back for another video. It is time for the Cup Series race reaction from the Charlotte Roval, the elimination race for the round of 12. And wow, we saw payback, we saw mechanical issues, and we saw some comebacks. Just, where the fuck do we even start with this? Seriously, where the fuck do we start with this? Anyway, before we get into that, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And also make sure to use code NJJ for free shipping on orders of $20 or more at Sharpie Diecast. Couple of things, a couple of little news pieces to note here. Ty Dillon will be running full-time in the 94 car for GMS Racing in the Cup Series next year. And Rick Ware Racing announced that they will have a technical alliance with Storehouse Racing starting next season. Basically, that's who they're going to be getting their engines from now. And Ware himself says that he has sponsorship for 2 cars next year. Doesn't know if he's going to have it for a third, but it doesn't look like he's going to have 4. He's going to run 4 cars next year. Regardless of that, Garrett Smithley was the only driver to go to the back with multiple failures in inspection. He was basically already back there, so it didn't really matter. So we get the race going. Almirola spins early, but gets going. Some drivers pit before the lap 10 competition caution. You can only take tires that here. Christopher Bell got a speeding penalty, so he served that right before the comp caution came out. And Eric Almirola got a penalty for a crew member over the wall too soon. Justin Haley penalized for not taking the full course on the restart. This is a pass-through penalty per Pockrass. He didn't use the chicane before taking the green. Have to use it when not through the backstretch chicane when the green is thrown. So that happened. Brad Keselowski spins in the corner off the backstretch chicane with contact from Bowman. Caution comes out for Ryan Newman. He spins his right rear tire, gone, and his day would be done with a rear end housing broke. Before I get to that, Bowman had reported that he might have had an alternator or battery issue. Denny Hamlin ended up with a speeding penalty. We get going again, and DiBenedetto misses the backstretch chicane. Ryan Preece spins off the last corner. Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. make contact in the backstretch chicane a little later. DiBenedetto and Preece had some tire rubs, and Chase Elliott would take the Stage 1 victory. AJ Allmendinger second, Ryan Blaney third, Martin Truex Jr. fourth, Joey Logano fifth, Kurt Busch sixth, Kyle Busch seventh, William Byron eighth, Michael McDowell ninth, and Kevin Harvick in 10th. Larson reported that he was losing voltage, and at this point, people were talking about Larson possibly missing the next round of the playoffs. Let that settle in for a second. By the end of Stage 1, with Larson and Bowman having issues with their batteries and alternators and whatever, at that point in time, it was looking like 3 out of the 4 Hendrick teams were going to be out of the playoffs after this round, including Larson, who's been the guy that's dominated all season long. So, yeah, that crazy how shit changes. But anyway, we get going with Stage 2. Chase Briscoe spins on the front stretch. Caution comes out. There was a shit ton of smoke, so that was pretty much probably why they brought the caution out. Stenhouse Jr. turned him. Fuck you, Stenhouse. Larson would pit for a battery change, as would Bowman. Larson's alternator belt came off. They did not get that fixed. They were going to wait till the end of the stage to do that. Well, they were going to try to do it then. It didn't happen, so they wait to the end of the stage. Bell goes wide in 5 and 6, in turns 5 and 6. Cole Custer spins, stops, and then gets going again. His right rear made contact with the wall. Garrett Smithley goes to the garage with mechanical issues. Some drivers would pit late in Stage 2. Mike McDowell had some issues on pit road. Briscoe misses the front stretch chicane and serves a penalty. And Kyle Busch takes the Stage 2 victory. Elliott second, Harvick third, Blaney fourth, Logano fifth, Larson sixth, Keselowski seventh, Truex Jr. eighth, Alex Bowman ninth, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 10th. So Larson would have an extended pit stop to replace the alternator belt, then pit again for tires, and then that was changed to him pitting for tires then, with it being a quick yellow. And Larson would stay on the lead lap after getting off pit road, and he was told that by his team that he was good. He was good and the issues were fixed. So then we get Bell and DiBenedetto make some contact at one point. And then this is where the race took a very, even more chaotic turn, all right? We already had the chaos of the possibility of Larson not making it to the next round. Well, how about this? Caution comes out for Chase Elliott and Cole Custer. They were coming back on the oval. Elliott spins, collects Custer, whatever. In the previous corner, going into the previous corner, I should say, Harvick gets his payback for Bristol by tapping Elliott. Elliott goes, through the corner. Rear end hits the wall. He gets going again. Almost, it looked like he tried to dump Harvick back, but he missed, and he ended up taking Custer with him instead. And NASCAR Twitter went nuts. As far as I'm concerned, now we'll get back to this later because this will come up again in a little while. As far as the incident goes, some people were comparing it to Kenseth Logano from a couple of years ago. If Elliott was to retaliate, would NASCAR penalize him? Whatever. That was a different situation. Yes. Basically what it was, Logano made contact with Kenseth back at Kansas, and Kenseth spun, and then shit earlier in the race at Martinsville basically ended Kenseth's day in terms of making it to the next round. So he said, "Fuck it, I'm taking Logano out because if I can't make it, he's not going to make it." So this was a completely different situation. But as far as I'm concerned, for Harvick, this reignited some early 2000s vintage out of him. Between not having a win all season, struggling at some of his best tracks, just struggling in general, barely makes the playoffs on points, and then the whole thing at Bristol. I mean, you had to think this was coming. Like, Elliott tried to move on. Dude, I mean, because we know what happens when you fuck with Elliott. It doesn't go over well. Ask Denny Hamlin. He'll tell you. But in this case, it was reversed. Elliott fucked with Harvick. Well, no. I think it was Harvick, whatever it was. If I remember correctly, I think Harvick got into Elliott. Elliott had a tire go down. Elliott retaliated by holding off Harvick, and Larson won the damn race. So Harvick's like, you know what? I'm going to wait till the ROVAL, get my payback. He got his payback. And honestly, a lot of people hate it because it's Elliott, and I can understand that. People wait, well, why did people not hate when Kenseth did Logano? Because Logano is fucking hated. Elliott is beloved by the NASCAR community because he's Bill Elliott's son, so what the fuck? But regardless, that put Elliott in a position where he could have missed, and he would be the third Hendrick car to get knocked out in this round instead of Larson. Alan Gustafson tells Elliott that if he wrecks Harvick, it locks Elliott in. Elliott responds, "Don't worry." So essentially, we would potentially see some payback, but we'll come back to that. Race gets going again, and in the backstretch chicane, AJ Allmendinger's engine fails. He ends up making it to pit road. His day is done, and Justin Haley would also go to the garage a little bit later with engine issues. Hamlin misses the backstretch chicane, stops on the front stretch, and then goes. Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe make contact, with Kyle making contact with Keselowski coming off the last corner. Then we get some green flag pit stops. Scott Heckert serves a penalty in the front stretch chicane. Chase Elliott had a left rear tire rub, and at this point, people were, we all saw what happened here. Elliott's bumper was flapping, off the back, and it would come off, which would result in a caution. You would think he'd get black flagged, but it's Chase Elliott, so yeah, no. But if you look at Poggers posted the rules, and having that on the back is not mandatory for road courses, so there is that. But Reddick even said it over the radio. If it was anybody else other than Elliott, they would have been called to pit road. So caution comes out in Elliott's favor. Bowman gets a speeding penalty. Sadness. Byron had to avoid the 78 on pit road, so he had to restart P6. Hamlin, Benedetto, and Alfredo stayed out. And then we get Keselowski. He spins in the chicane. No caution. Chastain and McDowell locked up going into it. Other cars with some damage thanks to the stack up. This was over backstretch, by the way. Keselowski had a left rear tire rub as a result of that. Byron misses the backstretch chicane, possible contact with either Larson or Reddick. It ended up being Reddick, although a lot of people will look at it and be like, it might have also been Larson. And then we go to caution. Corey LaJoie and Joey Hand both with issues. LaJoie got in the wall. Hand backed his car into the wall right behind him. And Joey Hand was declared the caution. LaJoie, Michael McDowell, Elliott, and Custer went 4 wide into the corner. McDowell and contact from McDowell into Custer, got Custer into LaJoie, which put LaJoie in the wall, and then Hand got spun and hit the wall behind them. Noah Gragson, who was at the race, was watching the race, there, said that a fan climbed the fence in turn 7 and went on the track, which caused NASCAR to add a lap before returning to green. And he actually got a picture of the guy. Basically got a picture from where he was, the guy from behind. So that was hilarious. He wasn't exactly there, but you could see it from where he was. But you get my point. Kurt Busch misses the front stretch chicane. Reddick muscles by Larson for second with Hamlin in the lead at this point. Chastain has a left rear tire rub thanks to some contact with Brad Keselowski. And payback was served, kinda. Kevin Harvick. Now, at this point, there's a little bit of chaos between Harvick, Truex Jr., Bell, and Elliott. If Elliott gets up to Harvick, he's gonna take him out. We know this. Well, the racing gods said, yeah, we're not gonna allow that, but we will take Harvick out for you. Harvick misses turn 1. He misses the tire barriers, hits the wall, and he wrecks. His day is done. Caution's out. Harvick will not advance out of the round of 12, and for the first time, he will not make it to the round of 8 since this format of the playoffs started. And there was a fire under the hood, by the way, as well. But yeah, so for Harvick to go from getting his payback for Bristol on Elliott to basically getting intimidated into a wreck from behind, essentially, because I think that's what we can call that here. You both love and hate to see it. If you're an Elliott fan, you love to see it. If you're a Harvick fan, you hate to see it. Is this over though? I don't know. We'll see. Because you got to think Elliott didn't actually get his payback. In a way, he did. But he didn't the way he wanted to, probably. So I'm wondering if Elliott will try to get him back, say Martinsville. If we get a Hamlin Elliott situation with Harvick leading, I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott puts the bumper to him. Just saying. Hamlin, Buescher, and Logano all make contact coming out of the last corner. This was after the restart, by the way. Logano with major front end damage. Well, this is a few laps after the restart, but you get my point. Truex Jr. gets spun by Joey Hand on the backstretch chicane. And the big thing here was that if William Byron could get by Tyler Reddick and then get by Kyle Larson and win this thing, that put Truex Jr. in a spot where he'd be eliminated from the playoffs instead of Brad Keselowski. That did not happen. William Byron gets in the grass and gets in the wall. He gets going again. No caution. Kyle Larson wins. Harvick, Bell, Byron, and Bowman out of the playoffs. And this is what your playoff grid right now is looking to be. Kyle Larson, he nabs the big win. He's going to have 4,065 points entering the next round as the leader. So he's got a comfortable lead already. And then Hamlin, 4,030. Truex Jr., 4,029. Blaney, 4,024. Kyle Busch, 4,023. Chase Elliott, 4,022. Joey Logano, 4,013. And Brad Keselowski, 4,008. All I'm going to say is this. How the fuck is Brad Keselowski still in the playoffs, honestly? Because he probably should have been out a couple rounds ago, and somehow this man has survived up to this point. But, so we've got all 3 Penske drivers, half of Joe Gibbs Racing and half of Hendrick Motorsports are still left in the playoffs. Texas, Kansas, Martinsville. That's what's coming up. Shit's about to get interesting. But with all that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.